Good morning, Chicago Cubs fans. We are back with another edition of Cubs Daily. My name is Steven Ryan. We're going to talk over some of the GM meetings going on this week. My man Scott Boras had the microphone and he was spitting some bars. It was pretty hilarious. We're going to listen to some of those as well. We have Bruce Levine talking about what the Cubs are going to be going after. I'm going to continue my wild dream scenarios. We're going to go over a couple of players and another player that Bruce Levine has connected to the Cubs. But before we get into all that, I just want to give everyone a big thank you from the bottom of my heart. Continuing to show support on these videos, guys. You guys are the absolute best. I literally can't believe over 770 people listen to me on a regular basis. That just blows my mind. You guys are the absolute best. Whether you agree with me or disagree or not, I love you all. You guys are the best. And again, if you're enjoying the content, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 1K. Let's make it happen. Also, please share your thoughts. We got some fun rumors coming up here. One, Bruce Levine connected to the Cubs. The other is just my wild dream fantasy. So let's hop right on into it, all right? Scott Boras likes to talk. Also, it just feels like he represents every single player ever. Isn't that just wild? Of course, he doesn't represent the number one free agent this year. That is Kyle Tucker. So crazy to believe, but he represents Pete Alonso. He represents Dylan Cease. He represents Yatsuya Amai. Just a lot of different... Cody Bellinger. Just a lot of different players. And again, let's head on over to my page here, and I got him pulled up right here. Okay, this is the best one, right? Look at this right here. Pete's pursuers are primed to pay the power piper. Pete picked a perfect period to play preeminently a really primary position. A playoff parks plethora will bounce to participate in the pull and plunge. Sorry,
I had that question a lot.
We have to listen to it. Sorry.
There's no doubt that Pete's pursuers are primed to pay the power piper.
We get it. His name's Pete.
You know, Pete picked a perfect period to play preeminently at a primary position.
Look, I'm trying to find the letter P words, man. It's crazy work.
Will pounce to participate.
Just crazy work by Scott Boras.
The polar plunge.
Okay, so that's on Pete Alonso. Obviously, Pete Alonso's a big free agent. I wouldn't mind if the Cubs got Pete Alonso, but I just don't think that's going to happen. Big rumor for him is the Red Sox. That's an interesting possibility. And if you're scrolling down here, he's talking about our man
to have
Dylan
dominance.
Cease. He says, hey, I think we all know how Dylan
got
Cease
both.
pitches at Wrigley Field. He's dominant.
Other than Scooble next year,
that's a good fit right there. I mean,
I don't see a pitcher in the market coming that is going to have the potential that Cease has, and the proven element of durability to go along with that
5 years,
quality and potential. So,
sure
200 strikeouts a year, it's just not something the game has. Everybody knows that when you go into the playoffs, you want a number one. Why? You got a 5-game series. You want him to throw twice. You want to have that chance. You want to have your most dominant arm out there.
There's a relationship.
That's why the Dodgers signed Blake Snell
and the Cubs, and
so
it's a good one.
Those teams that are doing that
by any means
are winning championships.
That's always positive as
I think getting those types of arms are just really increase your opportunity to achieve that.
Deals are going to be happening at this time, but again, laying the groundwork for a lot of different potential pieces to come to fruition, right? I mean, I know we're going to talk about later on. Bruce Levine says the Cubs are going for pitching. Jed said it yesterday. They're going for pitching. We still do need a bat. You can't go into this year banking on the youth coming through and all that stuff. You can't do that. You are in a winning position. We can't take a step back. We have to take a step forward. Even if you thought this was a year everything kind of broke right for us, and it didn't even feel that way with all the injuries and just lack of consistency in the second half, like how well the Cubs started, that should have been a 96-97 win team if most of the players were able to stay healthy and Kyle Tucker didn't go through that funk. So, again, now on the channel, I like to pose positions that will help replace Kyle Tucker, since it already seems like a foregone conclusion that Kyle Tucker is no longer going to be a Cub. That's fine. But I dreamed about Fernando Tatis yesterday. But the more time I sit on it, the more I start to think about this guy right here, Ketel Marte. Okay, Ketel Marte was mentioned on this list. You see him right there, 4th down on the list under Hunter Green. I really am a humongous fan of Ketel Marte, ladies and gentlemen. You want to know why? Not only is he a switch hitter, not only does he rake, last year he had 283 with 28 home runs and 72 RBIs, but you know what he really does that's very, very good? I'm blocking it, but he can play center field, shortstop, and second base. He's so flexible. You can throw him in at DH. Look at that. He's a career 281 hitter. Again, let's just take a look at some of the numbers. NLCS MVP, 3-time All-Star, 2-time Silver Slugger. Again, the numbers on Ketel Marte are what they are. But look at these years, year by year, man, right? This was 329 2019, 287, 318. Yeah, he had a down year, 240, 276, 292, 283. Like, that is the kind of guy the Cubs need. A good baseball hitter. He's just awesome. He's been awesome for a very, very long time. And you know what, honestly, let's take a look here. Let's take a look here and see what his contract. He just signed. Look at this, a 6-year deal that locks him in until 2031. This dude is a perfect Cub. I mean, average year, $19 million? He was better than Kyle Tucker last year. Dude, go make the move. If Diamondbacks are really looking at a reset here, again, you have to consider this man, okay? Switch hitter. He hit 28 home runs last year. Even if he gives us that 20 to 30 range, he can drive in 70 to 90 runs, play some solid defense. I really like this potential here with Ketel Marte. I mean, look at the pay, dude. Next year, 12, then 20, 22. I mean, that is chump change for the production, okay? That's all I'm going to say. The production, 4.4. Last year, he had a 6.8 WAR. I mean, 22 million is a drop in the bucket on that front if you want to go and get Ketel Marte. And I think he would be an excellent addition to this team. Again, he can DH. He can play center field. And generally speaking, ladies and gentlemen, I know it's not really recommended, but he's getting a little bit older. Generally speaking, if you can play center field, you can play left and right. I know Wrigley can be a little bit tricky from time to time, but maybe Seiya could take that over and Ketel could be more of the DH, right? When Nico needs a day off, that's when Ketel steps in. You know, I think he would just provide this team a lot of flexibility from that position. And again, at that price point, unbelievable value. 19 to 22 million a year. That's light work, especially for what he's done for his career. He's always middle around his career average. That is what you like to see if you are a baseball player, right? Because if you look at, again, very rarely do people hit their career average. The career average is the sum of the total parts, right? You could hit 300 one year, 240 the next. You're a 270 hitter, even though you never hit 270 in your life. Ketel Marte, 283 career hitter, or actually, let me confirm that. 281 career hitter. He hit 283 last year. And again, he's had multiple seasons. 283 his rookie year, right? 287, 318, 276, 292. Like, he's middle around the pack on that front. So I really, really am thinking about that as a solid idea for the Cubs. If they, again, they're not going to do it. I know. But again, if you want to talk about cheap, if you want to talk about team friendly, that is the kind of player the Cubs should be looking at to help bolster this offense in any capacity. Now, another rumor that was alerted to the Cubs, Bruce Levine, did mention Joe Adele as a trade target here down the road. Okay, now let me take a look here. There have been rumors. Okay, there have been rumors about Joe Adell, right? They here, let's hop back on over to my Twitter graphic, right? Again, it says right here, Bruce Line and Cubs 360. There are a lot of teams that like the minor league system of the Cubs. Where was this at the trade deadline? One of them is the Los Angeles Angels, who might be dangling Joe Adell, right? Joe Adell was, average regarded, if you don't want to look at the batting average, but you want to look at his, OPS, 778, which is I'm pretty sure, an absolute career high. My man hit 37 home runs. That is incredible. Yeah, 1.2 WAR. Again, the Angels, not that good. If they're truly looking to move on from Joe Adell and the price is right, I really think that's also not a bad get either for the Cubs. He's only 26. Really solid team-friendly deal. Let's take a look at Spot Track here. Maybe we can find him real quick. Let's see how much. Again, and the Cubs, they love their players with control, right? They love their players with control. So, where is he at? So 2026 arbitration. That's what he's in. Okay. So yeah, he's in arbitration right now. He's only played in the big leagues for 4 years, and of course he's a Scott Boras client, so that only makes 100% sense. But again, that's another flexible option possibly for the Cubs on that front. Joe Adell, I really think would bolster the pop in this lineup, and I've talked about it, here recently. I do think that right-handed batters benefit more at Wrigley than a left-hander does. So, do I think Joe Adell could be a nice fit for maybe this Cubs team? Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind. He's been a highly touted prospect before. He was supposed to be paired along Mike Trout as a powerful outfield teammate. And again, the power showed this year, right? 37 home runs in that lineup where, he might not be seeing the best pitches necessarily. Maybe you surround him with some quality batters like, Seiya Suzuki and Nico Horner and Michael Busch. And I haven't even mentioned PCA yet because he's still developing into what he could be. Maybe Joe Adell finds a better stride. He sees better pitches. He raises that average a little bit, and he becomes a better all-around hitter for this Cubs team. Because, again, we've seen it multiple times before. You go onto a better situation, you improve better because the support system around you can help lift you to a different level. So that does bring up a very, very intriguing idea with Joe Adell. Now, what his cost would be, I have no idea. Now, again, we've gone through the Cubs minor league system before, right, ladies and gentlemen? They do have a lot of prospects that are due up at some point here, and we have to really start considering, can we start moving some of these guys, okay? Like, again, so this is already our number one, our first round pick last year, Ethan Conrad. He's already the 6th prospect. Jonathan Long, first base. He's due up next year. He doesn't have a place with Michael Busch on the front, right? Pedro Ramirez, he's allegedly due up next year. James Triantos, he was due up last year. Again, these are guys that need homes. And I don't know, do the Angels have a room for a James Triantos or, a potential Jonathan Long? Maybe. These are ancillary upgrades because, again, the Cubs seem very set at 8 of the 9 positions. Right? Like, we could throw out a quality Major League Baseball player at pretty much all 8 positions, right? Catcher, we have solved with Miguel Amaya and Carson Kelly. First base, Michael Busch. Second base, Nico Horner. Shortstop, Dansby. Third base, we know Shaw can be a service of well. I'm not saying we don't need an upgrade there. Ian Happ, Gold Glover left. PCA, future Platinum Glover in center. And then, Seiya is very serviceable in right field. So, again, these guys are expendable, and they can't sit in our minor leagues forever. So we have to do something. What that is, I don't know. Now, moving on to what I believe the Cubs are actually going to try and focus on this offseason. And like the last year, they were trying to get power arms last season. It really didn't work out. But Bruce Levine said it himself, the Cubs want power arms. They want to acquire that frontline pitcher that we weren't able to get last year. And I'm not saying it was the reason we lost necessarily. If you take a look here, they're going after power arms. I'm not saying it's the reason we lost, but it really did hinder us in our effectiveness, right? You saw what Jacob Mizorowski did to us. He was incredible. Freddie Peralta in Game 1 was awesome against us. And that's what the Brewers brought to the table, right? Ashby could throw gas. McGill could throw gas. Or Abner Uribe can throw gas. And I'm forgetting some others, but this Koenig can throw gas. We had one of the lowest velocities of the year, 27th, I believe, overall in Major League Baseball. That is not going to cut it in the postseason. So, considering which side of the fence you're on, are you a half glass full kind of person or half glass empty? We were really lucky to be one game away from the NLCS, I guess is one way you could look at it, because we just did not have enough swing and miss stuff. Now, could Ben Brown maybe develop a little bit better this year and he's going to be more swing and miss? Possibly. It didn't look good last year, but that doesn't mean he doesn't make tweaks in his mechanics. Doesn't mean the Cubs bullpen and pitching staff, pitching coach get with him and work on things. There's other ancillary developments to rise within the system as well. So, I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities, but one thing I do know for sure is the Cubs do not have that frontline starter. Cade Horton could be it. He won't be it next season. He still needs to develop. He's still progressing, right? He's still on an innings limit like he was this year. We need a guy that we can throw out there that will throw 120 pitches in a game that we need. That is what the Cubs need to do. And again, Dylan Cease, could he fit that mold? Absolutely. Could Framber Valdez fit that mold? Absolutely. Especially if we don't bring Shota back. I'm very intrigued by Framber Valdez. I just don't want 4 left-handers in our rotation. That's just kind of, to me personally. But, yeah. So, Cubs are going to go after power arms. I don't know what that means. I don't know who's available. There's rumors that Mackenzie Gore is available as well this year. He had a lot of swing and miss stuff, so maybe he'll benefit from the Wrigley wind as well. So it'll be very, very intriguing to see what the Cubs do. But that is going to wrap up today's edition of Cubs Daily. Again, thank you for all the support, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys and gals are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button and show the support. Also, share your comments down below on guys and gals you think the Cubs should, not guys and gals, on guys you think the Cubs should get. Tomorrow's video is going to be a viewer comment video, so we're going to be going over some of your guys' comments as well. So let's all have a very productive Thursday. Hopefully we'll learn some good news on something. I don't know. It's kind of the fun period of all this. So I hope you all have a great day. I love you all. We'll talk soon.